We Are Mainstream, written by John S. on February 6th, 2015, and posted at weagnosticsaa.org. My first call for help was to the Kansas City area central office of Alcoholics Anonymous. I made the call upon finding my way to my apartment after spending the night in jail and the morning wandering the streets and contemplating the futility of it all. Drinking wrecked my young life, and everything was out of control. I was deeply terrified. It was an unbearable fear, the like of which I have not experienced since. And it was in this state of mind that I placed the phone call to the Kansas City AA Central Office. I remember the man's voice answering the phone, "Alcoholics Anonymous," to which I replied, "I think I need help." I had the strange sense that even over the telephone, this man understood my fear and desperation. He spoke in a calm, compassionate tone and gave me the address and time of a nearby AA meeting. In those days, there was no internet. If you wanted to find an AA meeting, you had to pick up the phone and talk with someone. Thankfully, there were thousands of alcoholics preceding me who built a fellowship and a service structure that would not only save my life, but change it in such a way as I could never imagine. That phone call was over 26 years ago, and today I am sober and grateful to the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous and to the men and women who freely gave of themselves to help people like me. I love Alcoholics Anonymous, and I try to give back what I've been given, and I've been doing that since I've been sober all these many years. But something's different now. I no longer believe in God, and I feel that I'm outside the mainstream of AA. Now, I intentionally use the word feel when describing myself as outside the mainstream, because feelings are powerful things, though they sometimes don't quite match with reality. Are we atheists and agnostics really outside of the mainstream of AA? The more that I ponder that question, the more I realize that no, we're not. We agnostics and atheists in AA share with all AA members a common experience of losing control of our drinking to the point of crisis. We could no longer manage to go it on our own. We needed help. And that help came from fellow alcoholics. This is an experience we all share. We also share the experience of finding hope in AA that we could live happy and productive lives free from alcohol. And we share a yearning for this freedom and a commitment to do whatever is needed to achieve this new life. All of us in AA, both the believer and non-believer, made a decision to change what we had been doing, to try something new, to listen to others with an open mind. Both the believer and the atheist in AA can agree that they were changed by this experience, and that it was more than just not drinking. We were fundamentally different people because of everything that makes Alcoholics Anonymous what it is. The only difference between agnostics, atheists, and freethinkers in AA and those who believe in a God is how we describe our experience. More religious AAs term the experience a spiritual awakening, and they attribute it to a personal relationship with a loving God. The atheists in AA believe that we also had a transformative experience, but we attribute it to a personal relationship with loving people. It's the same thing, just different ways to describe it. As former chair of the AA Service Board, Reverend Ward Ewing said, "Why don't we just say we had an experience?" Today, the Des Moines Register published an article in the op-ed section about the Des Moines AA Central Office refusing to list the Broad Highway Group in its roster of AA meetings in Des Moines. The Broad Highway Group is one of over 200 AA groups for agnostics, atheists, and freethinkers worldwide. The article quoted an unnamed person at the Des Moines Central Office as stating that they wouldn't list the meeting because the group doesn't take things directly out of the book. This is painful to read. I cannot imagine the heartbreak that I would feel if the central office that helped save my life would not recognize my recovery as being mainstream AA just as valid as the recovery of those who believe in a supernatural deity and who follow the big book to the letter. The name of the Des Moines group is taken from the book Alcoholics Anonymous, which describes the program as a broad highway as opposed to a narrow path. AA should always strive for inclusivity and should always shun exclusivity. We are about saving lives, after all, and it's unconscionable to close the doors of recovery to a significant portion of people, the non-believer or agnostic. Of course, the situation in Des Moines is an aberration. The vast majority of agnostic AA meetings are recognized and listed by local AA central offices and intergroups. It is my hope that the AA community in Des Moines will reconcile and find what they share in common is far more important than where they differ, and that one day soon the Broad Highway Group will be fully embraced by the AA community in Des Moines. Unity, service, recovery. At the time of this recording in August of 2017, there are over 400 AA groups for agnostics, atheists, and free thinkers worldwide.